Tonight's story is called Let's Talk About Dirt. Quietly, there's something very quiet and soft about dirt. Not the loud kind of dirt you might find on a playground after a rainy day, all squishy and muddy, or the dusty kind that tickles your nose when you sweep an old attic. No, this story's about the slow, gentle kind of dirt, like the dirt you find resting quietly beneath tall, sleepy trees in a forest that seems to whisper secrets to itself. Imagine a big, round patch of dirt. It's dark brown, almost like melted chocolate, but softer and cooler, almost like a cozy blanket folded gently on the ground. This dirt doesn't rush anywhere. It just sits there, holding tiny bits of leaves and twigs and maybe even a crumb of an old acorn. If you press your fingers gently into the dirt, it feels cool and a little crumbly, like a crumbly cake that hasn't quite dried all the way. It smells earthy and calm, like after rain, when the whole world smells fresh and quiet. Sometimes, the dirt talks. Not with words like we do, but with little sounds and movements that are so soft you almost miss them if you're not paying attention. Maybe it's the sound of a worm wriggling deep inside, or the quiet rustle of tiny bugs crawling slowly beneath the surface. Sometimes, a little ant might walk across the dirt, carrying something shiny or crumbly on its back, and the dirt feels a tiny bit ticklish where the ant's feet press. There's a whole secret world in dirt. It's not just dirt, it's a soft, slow, sleepy place that holds the memories of seeds and leaves and old rain. And even if it looks still and quiet, inside it's always moving, changing, like a tiny dance, but very, very slow. If you lean close and breathe in quietly, you might smell the fresh green smell of nearby grass or the faint, sweet smell of wildflowers, just waking up to the morning light. Now, dirt is also a good place to think about other things. Like, have you ever wondered what clouds feel like if you could touch them? They're probably soft and puffy, like cotton candy, but cooler, like the softest pillow you've ever laid your head on. Sometimes, when you look up at the sky, you can see the clouds moving slowly, as if they're floating just for you. Maybe the dirt and the clouds are friends, even though one is on the ground and one is way up high. And speaking of friends, did you know that dirt likes to share? It shares its tiny spaces with all sorts of creatures, tiny bugs, busy ants, sleepy earthworms, and even seeds that might grow into big, tall trees one day. Each seed waits patiently, tucked quietly beneath the dirt, like a little treasure waiting to be discovered. The dirt keeps the seed warm and safe, like a soft bed. Now, while the dirt is quietly holding seeds and tiny creatures, it also has stories about rain. Rain is one of the most gentle visitors to dirt. Imagine the rain falling softly, one drop after another, like a slow, soft drumbeat on a quiet rooftop. When rain meets dirt, it doesn't shout or splash loudly like it does on a puddle. Instead, it seeps in slowly, like water taking a gentle bath, sinking deep to give thirsty roots a drink. Sometimes, after a night of rain, the dirt feels cool and soft, almost like a soft sponge that's soaked up a little too much water but doesn't mind it all. It hugs the rain and keeps it safe for the tiny plants and bugs. The smell of rain on dirt is one of the nicest smells in the whole world, earthy and fresh and a little bit sweet, like a secret recipe made just by nature. And while the dirt drinks up the rain, it also listens. If you listen very quietly, you might hear the soft pattering of raindrops and the faint sigh of wind moving through the leaves above. The leaves themselves sometimes shake gently, like they're stretching after a long nap. The whole forest, or garden, or field seems to take a deep breath, calm and slow. This makes me think about how important it is to be slow sometimes, just like the dirt and rain. When things move too fast, it's harder to notice the tiny things. A little bug crawling on a leaf, or the gentle sway of grass in the wind, or even the way your own breath feels when you're lying quietly in bed, about to fall asleep. Maybe, just like the dirt, we need moments to rest and soak things in. Oh, and speaking of resting, dirt also loves to rest under blankets of fallen leaves in autumn. The leaves are like a soft, crunchy quilt that covers the ground, keeping the dirt cozy during cold months. The leaves rustle gently if the wind blows, making a soft whispering sound, almost like a lullaby sung by the trees. Sometimes, when the wind is very still, and the night is quiet, the dirt can feel the soft footsteps of animals walking nearby, maybe a small fox, or a sleepy rabbit, or even a slow-moving turtle. They don't rush. They take their time, stepping softly so they don't wake anything up. It's all very calm and peaceful, like a secret dance in the quiet night. The quiet dance of animals on the dirt is something special. Imagine a slow, careful fox stepping gently over soft moss, its paws barely making a sound as it moves through the twilight. The fox's fur is soft and warm, and it blends right into the shadows, almost like a whisper itself. Sometimes, the fox might stop and sniff the air, catching the scent of something interesting, a sleepy mouse, or a patch of fresh berries hidden nearby. And beneath the fox, the dirt feels all these tiny steps, light and careful. It's as if the dirt is a soft cushion, always ready to catch the gentle weight of the forest creatures. The dirt doesn't mind being stepped on. It's part of the slow rhythm of nature, a rhythm that never hurries but always moves forward, little by little, like a story unfolding one quiet page at a time. Speaking of stories, dirt also holds stories in a very special way. If you were to dig just a little, not too much, you might find tiny pieces of old leaves or bits of bark. These are like nature's bookmarks, little reminders of days gone by. Sometimes, under the dirt, you could even find tiny fossils, long ago animals or plants pressed gently into stone. But those stories take a long time to tell and are very, very quiet. This makes me think about how stories can be soft, too. Not all stories are loud and exciting. Some stories, like the ones dirt keeps, are slow and peaceful. They don't race to a finish but instead linger in the soft moments, the smell of fresh rain, the warm sun on your face, or the feel of a cool breeze brushing past. Now, when the sun is just waking up, it touches the dirt with warm, gentle fingers. The sunlight feels like a soft blanket being pulled back slowly to reveal the world underneath. Dewdrops sparkle quietly on blades of grass nearby, like tiny stars that decided to rest on earth for a little while. The dirt drinks in this sunlight too, slowly warming up, ready to help plants grow and stretch their leaves toward the sky. It's funny how the sun and the dirt work together, isn't it? Like old friends who have a secret understanding. The sun gives warmth and light, and the dirt gives the ground its soft, welcoming home. They don't rush to do their jobs. They take their time, carefully and quietly. And just like the sun and dirt, maybe it's okay for us to take our time, too. To move slowly and softly, to listen to quiet sounds around us, and to feel cozy in our own little corners of the world. Now, let's think a little more about the feeling of dirt beneath your fingertips. When you touch it softly, it's cool and a bit grainy, like tiny little pieces of sand mixed with soft, crumbling chocolate. Sometimes it sticks a little between your fingers, but if you rub your hands together slowly, it falls away like a gentle dusting of powder. It's a curious feeling, both rough and soft at the same time, and very calming to explore slowly. There's something very peaceful about just sitting quietly with your hands in the dirt. It feels steady, like the ground itself is holding you up and saying, "It's okay to rest here." The dirt is steady and patient, not rushing or worrying. It just is, always waiting for the next raindrop, the next seed to fall, or the next tiny bug to pass by. Speaking of bugs, there are so many that live in and around the dirt. Some are very small, like invisible ants marching in a slow parade under the leaves. Others might be soft and round, like little ladybugs resting on a blade of grass, their shells shiny and smooth like tiny, polished stones. These bugs move slowly too, exploring the dirt like it's a big, quiet playground made just for them. Have you ever watched a caterpillar inch along the ground? It moves so slowly, its little legs gripping carefully, one tiny step at a time. The caterpillar is busy with its own quiet adventure, taking its time, eating leaves and growing soft fuzz. Someday, it will wrap itself in a silky cocoon and sleep there for a long while. And when it wakes up, it might be a butterfly, fluttering softly in the sunlight. But for now, it's just a quiet caterpillar, slowly moving through the dirt and leaves. This makes me think about how everything in nature has its own slow pace. The trees don't rush to grow tall. They stretch their branches bit by bit, reaching gently toward the sky. The flowers don't bloom all at once. They open their petals softly, one by one, like waking up from a nap. And even we can take our time, moving softly through the day like the dirt holds all these gentle moments. Sometimes, when the wind is very soft, it carries the smell of the earth and flowers all around. The air feels cool and fresh, like a soft breeze wrapping around you like a gentle hug. You might hear the faint rustle of leaves or the quiet chirping of a bird waking up. The world feels slow and peaceful, like a quiet lullaby sung by nature itself. There's something about the way dirt holds everything together that feels very comforting. It's like a big, gentle hug from the earth itself. Underneath the grass, the flowers, and the trees, dirt is always there, quiet, patient, and steady. It's like the earth's softest blanket, wrapping everything in warmth and softness. Have you ever noticed how dirt changes with the seasons? In spring, it's cool and fresh, full of promise and new beginnings. Little green shoots push through the soil, eager to say hello to the sun. The dirt feels damp and alive, like it's breathing quietly beneath the surface. You might even see tiny puddles and little dips where the rain has gathered, reflecting the soft blue of the sky above. Then comes summer, when the sun warms the dirt until it feels dry and crumbly, like soft sand between your toes at the beach. The warmth makes the earth smell a little different, more alive, like a warm cup of tea on a slow afternoon. The dirt seems to hum quietly with the sounds of buzzing bees and chirping crickets. At night, it cools down again, and if you listen closely, you might hear the gentle scurrying of creatures waking up for their nighttime wanderings. In autumn, the dirt gets cozy under piles of crunchy leaves. The leaves crackle softly as they fall, covering the ground in a patchwork quilt of red, orange, and gold. It's as if the earth is tucking itself in for a long, peaceful rest. The air smells like cinnamon and apples, and sometimes you might spot a squirrel hurriedly gathering nuts, its tiny paws moving busily through the leaves. And then, winter arrives quietly, wrapping the dirt in a soft, white blanket of snow. The snow muffles all the sounds, making the world feel very still and calm. Beneath the snow, the dirt rests peacefully, keeping warm and safe until spring returns again. It's like the earth is taking a deep breath, waiting patiently for new life to wake up once more. This cycle of seasons reminds us that everything has its own gentle rhythm. The dirt teaches us to be patient, to rest when it's time, and to be ready for new beginnings, even if they come slowly and quietly. Sometimes, when you're lying in bed, you can imagine yourself as a tiny seed resting in the dirt. You're warm and safe, wrapped in a soft, dark blanket. Outside, the world is quiet and slow, and you can feel the gentle pulse of the earth all around you. When you imagine yourself as a tiny seed resting in the dirt, it's easy to feel calm and safe. The dirt is soft and steady, like a cozy bed that holds you gently. All around you, the world is peaceful and slow, like a quiet song sung just for you. Maybe the dirt even hums a little tune, a soft, steady beat that feels like a lullaby. As you lie there, you might feel the faint touch of a worm wiggling nearby. Worms are very important friends of the dirt. They move slowly through the soil, making little tunnels and helping to keep the earth soft and full of air. These tunnels let water and roots breathe easily, like tiny hallways in a secret underground castle. Worms don't rush. They take their time, twisting and turning through the dirt, eating tiny bits of leaves and soil to keep everything fresh. Sometimes, when you dig just a little, you might find a worm curled up, resting quietly in its soft home. The worm doesn't mind the dark. It feels safe and snug, just like a seed. The dirt is full of other tiny helpers, too. There are beetles with shiny shells, slow-moving snails with their spiral homes, and even microscopic creatures you can't see without a very strong magnifying glass. All these little helpers work quietly and gently, making the dirt a perfect place for plants and seeds. Now, plants are very patient friends of the dirt as well. When a seed decides it's time to wake up, it sends out a tiny root that reaches down into the soil, searching for water and nutrients. The root is soft and thin, like a tiny thread, and it moves slowly through the earth, twisting gently around small stones or tiny bits of wood. Above the ground, a little green shoot might start to peek out. It's fragile and soft, like a new baby leaf just opening for the first time. The shoot feels the warm sun and the cool air and stretches up slowly, taking its time to grow stronger and taller. The dirt holds the roots like a gentle hand, always ready to catch and support them. It's like the soil is whispering, "Take your time. I am here for you." and when the wind blows softly, it carries the scent of fresh grass and flowers, wrapping the whole world in a gentle, sleepy hug. You can imagine the quiet rustle of leaves and the soft hum of tiny insects singing their bedtime songs. There's something very soothing about the way the dirt holds everything quietly, isn't there? Like a soft, still blanket spread gently over the earth. It doesn't rush or hurry, it just rests patiently, holding everything together, roots, rocks, worms, and seeds alike. And even though the dirt looks simple and plain, it's actually full of little mysteries. For example, have you ever thought about what dirt feels like after a long, slow rain? It becomes soft and squishy, almost like a thick, creamy pudding. When you press your fingers into it gently, it gives way like a tiny, soft sigh. The smell is rich and warm, almost like a fresh loaf of bread just coming out of the oven, but earthier and quieter. It's a smell that feels like home. Sometimes, if you dig just a little, you might find something surprising. Maybe a smooth pebble that looks like a tiny, polished egg, or a feather that drifted down from a bird flying high above. The dirt holds on to these little treasures, keeping them safe and secret until someone discovers them again. And talking about feathers makes me think about birds. Birds are like soft music floating above the dirt, singing sweet songs in the early morning light. Their wings flap gently, carrying them from tree to tree, and sometimes they hop softly on the ground, tapping tiny feet on the dirt as if playing a quiet game. The dirt listens to their songs, feeling the soft rhythm of their movements. Have you ever watched how a bird pecks softly at the ground? It's looking for seeds or small insects, and it moves very carefully so as not to disturb the dirt too much. The dirt feels each gentle tap and shift, like a friend softly tapping your shoulder to say hello. Sometimes the dirt feels the slow, lazy stretch of a sleeping animal, maybe a hedgehog curled up under a bush or a sleepy turtle slowly moving through the leaves. These creatures move gently and quietly, perfectly in tune with the calm, slow rhythm of the dirt beneath them. And all the while, the dirt waits, holding the stories of the forest, the garden, and the field. It's a slow, quiet keeper of time, like a soft clock that ticks just a little bit with every passing moment. The dirt, with all its quiet patience, also loves the night. When the sun slips down behind the hills and the sky turns soft shades of purple and blue, the dirt cools down and settles even more deeply into rest. It's like the whole earth is yawning and stretching after a long day, ready to slow down and dream. At night, the stars twinkle gently above, like tiny, sleepy eyes blinking softly in the dark. Sometimes, if the night is very still, you can hear the faint whisper of the wind brushing through the trees, carrying with it the quiet scent of earth and leaves. The dirt listens to all these gentle sounds, feeling calm and safe under the blanket of night. If you imagine yourself as a little seed again, tucked quietly beneath the earth, you might hear the slow breathing of the forest. The trees stand tall and steady, their branches cradling the moonlight. The leaves rustle softly, telling each other quiet stories about the day. Even the smallest bug rests, its tiny body curled up beneath the soil. Sometimes, in the hush of the night, a small mouse might wander softly over the dirt, its paws making barely a sound. It sniffs the cool air, curious but careful, before it scurries off to find a warm nook to sleep. The dirt holds its footprints gently, like a soft diary of the night's adventures. And under the dirt, life keeps moving slowly. Earthworms wiggle through the soft soil, making tiny tunnels that help the air and water flow. These tunnels are like secret passageways, hidden from view but full of quiet magic. They help plants grow strong and steady, reaching up to catch the first light of dawn. The night is a time for slow breathing, gentle dreams, and soft rest. The dirt knows this well. It settles down and holds everything close, ready for the sun to return and start the slow, peaceful dance all over again. Sometimes, when you're cozy in your bed, you can imagine the dirt resting beneath you, holding you softly like a gentle hug from the earth. It's quiet and calm, just like you, ready for sleep. As the night goes on, the world feels very still, and the dirt holds on to that stillness like a secret treasure. The soft earth waits patiently beneath the moonlight, feeling the cool air wrap around it like a gentle shawl. The stars above twinkle softly, blinking slowly as if they too are ready to drift off to sleep. When you're lying quietly, thinking about the dirt, you might imagine it breathing slowly with the earth, a calm and steady rhythm like the slow ticking of a very old clock. Each tiny movement under the ground, worms wriggling, roots stretching, seeds resting, adds to the gentle pulse of life, steady and unhurried. Sometimes, the wind carries a soft rustling sound, like a lullaby sung by the trees. The leaves whisper quietly to one another, sharing stories only the night can hear. Maybe they're talking about the morning sun, or the rain that's coming soon, or the tiny bugs that will wake up and start their slow dance again. If you listen closely, you might even hear the distant call of an owl, hooting softly to say good night. The owl's voice is deep and calm, like a cozy story told in the dark. It's a reminder that the night is full of gentle friends, all resting and dreaming together beneath the stars. The dirt is part of this quiet world, holding everything gently and patiently. It doesn't hurry or rush. Instead, it waits, quietly and softly, like a friend who is always there when you need them. And just like the dirt, sometimes we need to be patient with ourselves, letting our thoughts slow down and our bodies rest. It's okay to be still, to breathe deeply, and to feel cozy and safe. As the night grows deeper, the dirt keeps its soft embrace, holding the earth and all its creatures close, ready for a new day to begin when the sun rises again. When the first light of morning starts to peek over the horizon, the dirt wakes up slowly. It doesn't jump up or hurry. Instead, it stretches quietly, feeling the warm touch of sunlight like a soft hand brushing across its surface. The dewdrops that settled during the night begin to sparkle and catch the light, like tiny diamonds scattered across a velvet blanket. Birds start to sing their morning songs, gentle and sweet, filling the air with calm melodies that drift softly through the trees and over the ground. The dirt listens to their music and feels a little warmer, ready to begin another slow, peaceful day. As the sun climbs higher, the dirt holds onto the tiny roots of plants, keeping them safe and strong. It feels the steady warmth and watches as little shoots push their way up, reaching for the light. There is no rush here, just slow growth and steady care, like a quiet promise from the earth. Sometimes, you can imagine the dirt and the sun talking quietly, like old friends sharing a gentle secret. The sun offers warmth and light, and the dirt offers a soft home and comfort. Together, they create a peaceful place where life can